Dear students, so far we are discussing about wireless local area networking system, WLAN. Is it not? So we are discussing about wireless local area networking system. In continuation with that, we are going to discuss about improving the coverage of wireless local area networking system and the capacity of cellular phone. Okay, the capacity of cellular. Okay, so improving the coverage and capacity in cellular system. See the the points we are explaining about is cell splitting, cell sectoring, microcell zone concept, and repeaters for range extensions. Okay, the outcome of this topic is cell splitting, cell sectoring, microcell zone concept, repeaters for range extensions. Okay. See, if you see to improve the coverage of this wireless local area networking system, within the rise in the demand for wireless services, the number of radio channels allocated to each cell could become inadequate in order to satisfy this increase in the demand. Okay, so what it is? It is increasing the wireless local area network systems, increasing the number of wireless services. Okay, so it is inadequate to satisfy the demand. Is it not inadequate to in order to satisfy the demand means there is a high connections for the wireless connection. Okay, so therefore to increase the capacity of a cellular system, so therefore to increase the capacity of a cellular system, it is very important to allocate more number of radio channels to each cell, to more number of radio channels to each cell in order to meet the requirements of mobile traffic. So to control the mobile traffic, we have to organize a more number of radio channels to each cell. Okay, various techniques that are proposed for increasing the capacity of a cellular system. There are the different approaches that are there in the market. So to control the flow, to control the interfere. Okay, that are just now we have seen cell splitting. Okay, the first one is cell splitting. Cell splitting. Cell splitting is a method in which congested, that is heavy traffic cell is subdivided into smaller cells. Okay, so the cell method is divided into a smaller cells. Okay, cell splitting is a method in which congested heavy traffic cell is subdivided into smaller cells, and each smaller cell is having its own base station. Okay, so what happens, it is dividing into small cells, and every small cell is connected with the base station, so that what happen, congestion is reducing, congestion is reducing, and each smaller cell is having its own base station with reduction in antenna height and transmitter power. Okay, with reduction in antenna height and transmitter power. Okay, and by controlling the antenna height and transmitter, it is going to divide the cell into subdivided cells. Okay, so capacity of cellular network can be increased, so that capacity of cellular network can be increased by creating microcells within the original cells, by creating the microcells into original cells which are having smaller radius than macrocells. Obviously, so that what happens, its radius will be smaller minimum, because it is cell is splitted, so it is becoming a small cell, and its radius also will be less, will be minimum, and it is having its own antenna and its transmitter. Okay, its own antenna and its own transmitter, so that the traffic can be reduced. In cell splitting, allocation of channels to the new cells, that is microcells, must be done very cautiously. Okay, must be done very cautiously, So, in order to avoid co-channel interference, cell must follow the minimum reuse distance principle. Cell what have to do? Cell should follow a minimum reuse distance principle. Distance d it has to maintain. Distance d it has to maintain minimum. If it crosses the minimum, what happens? It will raise the interference. It will raise the interference so that the cell quality, the connection, the quality will be lost. Okay. So whatever cell must follow the minimum reuse distance principle. Reuse distance is d. Okay. So power levels of the transmitters for new and old cells must be redesigned. At the same time, power levels, its range also have to redesign. Okay. So when it is minimized, it should be redesigned. It should be redesigned. Okay. So if the transmitter of the old cell has the same power as that of new cells, then the channels in old cell interfere with the channels of new cells. If it will not redesign, what happens? It will be collision will happen. Collision will happen. Okay. If the transmitter of the old cell has the same power as that of new cells, then the channels in old cell interfere with the channels of new cell. Okay. So that's why if the power level of transmitter is too low, if the power level of transmitter is too low, then it may result into a sufficient area coverage. So if you redesign and you will give a lesser value, lesser range, okay, so its power level will be minimum. Okay, power level of transmitter is low, then it may result into a sufficient area coverage. Sufficient area coverage. Antennas of different heights and power levels are used for smooth and easy handoff. Okay, antennas of different heights and levels are used for smooth and easy handoff, and this technique is called umbrella cell approach. Umbrella cell approach. Okay, so antennas heights are maintaining the power levels, and it will see to smooth run of the handoffs. Okay. The second one is sectoring. Sectoring is nothing but the cell is divided into sectors. Okay. Cell is divided into sectors. Another way of improving the channel capacity of a cellular system is to decrease the ratio. Is the decrease the ratio, that is d by r, while keeping the same cell radius. Okay. It is divided into sectors, so that what happens? It is decreasing the ratio. Okay. Decreasing the ratio. Okay. So improvement in the capacity can be accomplished. So that improvement is going to place. Improvement in the capacity can be accomplished by reducing the number of cells in a cluster. So sector is nothing but a cluster. Okay. So it is in the form of a cluster. Improvement in the capacity can be accomplished by reducing the number of cells in a cluster, hence increasing the frequency reuse, so that we can generate the reuse, increasing the frequency reuse. So to achieve this, the relative interference must be minimized without decreasing the transmit power. Without decreasing the transmit power, we can achieve this with and minimizing the decreasing the transmit power. Okay. So for minimizing co-channel interference in a cellular network, a single omnidirectional antenna is replaced with multiple directional antennas, with each transmitting within a smaller region. So instead of using the multiple directional antenna, here we can use the single omnidirectional antenna. Single omnidirectional antenna will be replaced, and with each transmitting within a smaller region. Okay. So these smaller regions are called sectors. These smaller regions are called sectors, and minimizing co-channel interference while improving the capacity of a system by using multiple directional antennas is called sectoring. By using multiple directional antennas is called sectoring, okay, and sector threading, and just now we have seen a cluster, okay, is a cluster. The amount up to which co-channel interference is minimized depends on the amount of sectoring used. Okay, the amount up to which co-channel interference is minimized depends on the amount of sectoring is used. Okay, the area is minimizing. So the third one is microcell zone concept. Cells are divided into microcell, macrocell. Microcell is highly used, and macrocell is lowly used. Okay, so the microcell zone concept is associated with sharing the same radio equipment by different microcells. Okay, the microcell zone concept is associated with sharing the same radio equipment, sharing the same radio equipment by different microcells, by using the different microcells. It results in decreasing of cluster size. It is decreasing the cluster size. Okay, cluster size is decreasing, and therefore increase in system capacity. It is decreasing the cluster size and increasing the system capacity. The microcell zone concept is used in practice to improve the capacity of cellular systems. Okay, so the microcell zone concept is used in practice to improve the capacity of cellular system. To improve the capacity of cellular systems, this microzone concept is used. Okay, so what are the advantages of microzone concept? So advantages of microzone concept. First one, when the mobile user moves from one zone to another zone within the same cell, the mobile user can keep the same channel for the call progress. See, in the initial classes that we discussed, when a person mobile is moving from a place to place, where it is moving from the station to station, is it not? So if the mobile user moves from one zone to another zone within the same cell, the mobile user can keep the same channel for the call progress. Okay, sometimes it will go beyond that, will be is known as the handoffs. Handoffs, it is handing over to the next cell phone tower. Okay, like that. The second one is the effect of interference is very low due to the installation of low power transmitters. Okay, so interference is nothing but the disturbance. It is interfering the other. Okay, the mobile connection is interfering, the other is minimizing. The effect of interference is very low due to the installation of low power transmitter. Okay, better signal quality is possible. So with this microzone concept, better signal is also possible. Quality is going to good, and fewer handoffs when a call is in progress. I told fewer, less handoffs are possible. Less handoffs are possible when you use this microzone concept. Okay. Fourth one is repeaters for range extensions. Fourth one is repeaters for range extensions. Okay. So wireless operators want to provide dedicated coverage for users located within the buildings. So the operators, wireless operators, they want to provide the dedicated, the fulfillment of service, that is coverage of the building or in valleys or tunnels, as these are sometimes very hard to reach. So tunnels and valleys are difficult to reach the signals. So there we'll use the repeaters. Okay. So operators will use the repeaters for where it is difficult to reach the signals. Okay. So it is difficult to reach the signals to the valleys and tunnels. Okay. So radio retransmitters, also known as repeaters, are frequently used to provide coverage in such areas where range extension capabilities are required. Actually, the basic idea of the repeater is it regenerates the signals. It will, after moving for a certain distance, if you keep the repeater there, so repeater will regenerate the signals, so that the quality signals can reach for a long distance. For a long distance. So radio transmitters, also known as repeaters, are frequently used to provide coverage in such areas where range extension capabilities are required. Repeaters are bidirectional devices. Okay, so repeaters are bidirectional repeaters, uplink and downlinks. We studied, is it not? So repeaters are bidirectional devices, as the signals can be concurrently transmitted to and received from a base station. Transmitted to and received from base station. Okay, so repeaters are having the bidirectional devices. So repeaters may be installed anywhere as they function using over the air signals and are able to repeat entire frequently band. Okay. So repeaters may be installed at anywhere as they function using over the air signals and are able to repeat entire frequently band. Okay. So after receiving signals from base station, this repeater, when the repeater receives signals from base station, the repeater amplifies the signals before it forward them to the coverage area. So what is happening here? It amplifies means it is regenerating the signals to give the quality to the signals. Repeater, that is the purpose of the repeater. Repeater amplifies the signals before it forwards them to the coverage area. As repeaters can also re-eradicate the received noise, so repeaters must be installed very carefully. So if the connection is not in a good position, so the repeaters also re-eradicate. Re-eradicate means it is also can give some noise, so that repeaters connection should be very careful. Okay. So directional antennas are distributed antenna system. That is, directional antennas are distributed antenna system are linked practically to the repeater inputs or outputs for spot coverage. Okay, mainly in tunnels or buildings. So what happens? Distributed antenna system is taking care of this in tunneling in or in a building where it is difficult to uh, send the signals. Okay, it is directional antennas or distributed antenna system is taking care of the sending the signals through repeaters in a tunnels or buildings. A service provider dedicates some amount of cell sites traffic for the areas covered by the repeater by modifying the coverage of cell. A service provider is dedicating is giving some amount of cells, is emptying cells, so to take care of this traffic for the area covered by the repeater by modifying the coverage of cell. So software site planner helps the engineers to decide the best location for putting up the repeaters. The software site planner will decide so where to keep, how to keep the repeaters for distributed antenna station. Okay. Okay, this is about the quality can improve the in wireless mobile area networking system, improving the quality of a wireless mobile area networking system. You go on through this topic and you read it, and you read also the content, and you read it. So if you have any doubts, you can call me or you can mail me, so that further also we can discuss. Okay, thank you.